Hi, everybody. It's me, the fabulous Leo Brown, and I'm on here to talk about Iyanla versus the Braxtons. Okay, I want to give my thoughts on this. First of all, happy October 1st. I hope you guys are having a wonderful October and you're getting ready for Halloween for those who celebrate. For some, Haim. I know I am. That's actually one of my favorite holidays. But anyway, on to the subject of the video. So I want to talk about the Braxtons versus Iyanla. So there has been some controversy or controversy about Iyanla and the Braxtons, and they're saying that Iyanla might file a suit against one of the Braxtons, and this whole brouhaha. So I wanted to just give my thoughts on it. First, I saw the episode, and to give you guys kind of a quick synopsis, what happened was that Tawanda, she said, you know what, I think we talked to, bishops, we talked to Dr. Sherry, we talked to so many different people. Let's try Iyanla Vanzant. I think Iyanla would be good for us because she would really call us out on our stuff. She'd make us own our shit. And so they all agree, kind of, they were all a little bit apprehensive to do it. Like I know Trina and Evelyn were, but they said, you know what, we'll go ahead and do it. I think Tracy and the father were nervous about it, but the father was actually very supportive and was like, I think it's great that we're doing this. So they all agreed to meet. Tamar and Tony Tamar was more like, I think, combative about it. Tony was just like, I'm here. I'm here, I'm gonna do it. Tony kind of was in her own world. So they go meet, Iyanla. And by the way, Tawanda has a gorgeous body. She really needs to model or something. I don't know if she's tall enough, but side note, she really should be a model. Anywho, because whoever does her face and her eyes, yeah, I'm gonna need your card so you can hook me up. Anyway, so they meet Iyanla, and here's what I noticed. Here's what I understood. What I noticed, what got to me was Evelyn. I'm gonna be honest, I have watched the show since its inception. I am not a fan of Evelyn Braxton at all. I think Evelyn Braxton is cantankerous. I think she is bitter. I think she does not know how to take accountability nor responsibility for her stuff. And I think because of that, it has trickled down into her children, especially her daughters. And if you look at all of them except for Tracy, they're all divorced or they all have men issues. Like they all have issues with guys. And if you notice too, even if you go even deeper, they're divided because some are closer to the mother. Like I think Tony, Tamar, and I want to say Trina are closer to their mom. And then Tawanda, Tracy, and I think Tawanda and Tracy and Mikey are closer to their dad. And Mikey was the only one that wasn't their brother. So I think it's like they're literally divided if you look at it. So what I noticed about Evelyn was, the minute they got there, she was just very hesitant. She said she didn't like it. She said it all like in the confessionals, like I don't like this, but I'm doing it for my kids, And she gave me and I hate the sound. I'm just gonna be real. She reminded me a lot of my own mother because my mother and Evelyn could really be friends. And in that sense of just very secretive, very like, well, what happens in the house stays in the house. They even mentioned that. They called it the covered wagon syndrome, having that secrecy. And when Iyanla was like, listen, if we're going to do this, and if you really want me to start, like I want to start doing the work, we got to look at the root. And the root is the parents. And automatically, Evelyn, well, I they don't get that from me. I communicate. I'm a communicator. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you have to say, here's the tip, Evelyn. If you have to say that you're a communicator, you're not a communicator. Let's just be real, okay? Two, I noticed how defensive she was when Iyanla was like calling her out, and Iyanla was like, listen, you're their mom. You're the leader. You're dealing with women. You're dealing with grown women who look at you as their leader. They're looking at you. And granted, I understood what Iyanla was saying because you can just tell with Evelyn. She's very much like, well, no, we can't tell people the real truth. We can't be real with each other as a family because we got to put on that front that we're so close and we all like each other and we all get along and we have to stick together. And they even mentioned that. Like, they were like, we were just taught to stick together. Like, I love you even though I don't even like you. You know, they weren't taught to tell the truth, like Iyanla said. And I'm like, wow, how does that not sound familiar? And that's so true in so many African American family dynamics. That's true in a lot of Latino households. That's true with families of color across the board. And what that creates is codependence. And if you really look at the Braxton girls, they're all dependent on each other. Like they're all codependent and it's crippling them. Like it really, really is. And you can see where Tamar gets her antics from. You can see why she's so over the top because of her mother. Her mother there was a reason why the mother and Tamar were sitting together because they were very much a lot. They were like, for me, it was like like I was watching the show and it was like looking in the mirror, seeing them two, like looking at reflections of one being older and one being younger. So just different generations, but the same person. So I'm like, wow, this is really, really familiar. And granted, I was not a PK kid. I'm just gonna go into a little anecdote for me. I wasn't a preacher's kid at all. But I know what it is to put on that false face. I know what it is to put on the front and act like everything's okay. And what happens in the brown house stays in the brown house. And you get used to it, to living in secrecy, to living not in, well, I'm gonna be real, to living in shame, to, you know, having that face of like, well, everything's fine. Oh yeah, we love each other. We're family, honey. We love each other so much. When really in reality, you can't stand the ground they walk on. But you don't want to admit it. And it's not even them. And like Iyanla said, she's like, I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking the things you did. You know what I mean? Because you taught them to persevere, but yet you divorced your husband. And you can tell that she still holds hostility towards Father Braxton because it's like every time Iyanla was like, well, you know, who taught you that? Who taught you this? Who taught you how to communicate? Who taught you this? Who taught you how to love? The first thing she goes, well, they didn't get it from me. They got it from their dad. How many mothers do you know, for those of you who are watching me and hearing me speak, how many of us have parents where they blame the other parent for everything that has happened, for every negative? Well, you didn't get it from me. You got that from your daddy. Trust me, my mother has done that. And I'm like, Mama, my daddy wasn't around. I got it from somebody. I got it from you. So it was to me, it was a question of her owning her stuff. And it doesn't make you a bad parent. It just makes you someone that you've got some flaws. It makes you human. It doesn't mean that you know, like in this instance, you made a mistake. You didn't know it, but you did. You know, and that happens. That happens with all of us. So I thought that part was good. Now, here's the thing about just the Braxton family in general. I just see a family dynamic that's really littered in dysfunction. I think Tony has gotten used to being in the spotlight. Tony's the diva. Tony, and not the diva in the sense of like attitude, well, maybe, but diva in the sense of I'm the star. And I kind of get that with Tony, she rubs it in their faces a little bit like, well, you're never going to be better than me. She may not say it, but her actions do. Because if you notice, she's hardly ever around. And if she is, it's always, and if she is around on the show, because I'm pretty sure there's one that we don't see as viewers, but if she is around, it's only to do with what she has going on, like something to do with her engagement, something to do with, you know, Autism Speaks or a performance. And it's almost like with the sisters, they had to drop everything to support her. But if they don't, but it's like they drop everything to support her, but she doesn't do the same to support them. And if she does it begrudgingly. You know, I kind of noticed that. And it's funny because in the clip that they're gonna air, I think, or the continuation, they're gonna air this because the season finale comes on this Thursday. They're gonna air it, and in it she says that there are moments when she doesn't like her family. And if you notice that, I mean, her actions tell us that. So I can see that she doesn't like them. I think she loves her sisters, but I think if they were strangers and she didn't have to be around them, she would not. And I'm gonna be real. That's okay. That doesn't mean that I think to be able to say, listen, There are moments I don't like you. I love you, yes. But there are things that you do I can't stand. It makes me upset. I don't like it. So rather than be around that, I choose not to. Coupled with her having her illness, with her having lupus too. So I think that, it makes a lot of sense. I don't think there's shame there. I just think that I don't even think she means to do it. I think that at times she just rubs in like I'm Tony B. Braxton, but they don't help her because they kiss her ass a lot. They want to remain on her good side. I've noticed that. They don't really challenge Tony very much. Then even when it comes to their mother, they all mentioned, they were like, well, we have sometimes felt like, well, we can't do this, we can't say that. And how many of us can really say that we felt like, okay, I can go to my parent about anything and they will understand. They may not like what I'm saying, but they get it. Not very many of us can say that, especially in African American households. That was a no-no to express how you felt. Like and it was always about respect. And even if you notice with Tracy, when he talked about when Iyanla was talking to her, and she automatically went into a dissertation about her parents. And Iyanla was like, I didn't ask you that. I asked you how you felt. I'm asking you, what do you feel? Because your body and your face tells me that you're hurting and you're angry, and you are not expressing yourself. You're doing what your mom has taught you, what both your mother and father, what they taught you to do. You literally are. What am I trying to say? You are deflecting instead of being honest. You're deflecting your pain and putting it off and making it about them when really it should be about you. And that's what the owner was trying to tell us. So you can see that, and you can tell they were both taught that. All the girls were all taught we're not supposed to talk about how we feel because what if we offend our parents? Like that, and especially with them being from the church, I'm pretty sure they've heard this one biblical saying all the time. I know because I heard it, which was honor thy father and thy mother. So your days will be long on this earth. My mother would say that. My mother still says that to this day. Whenever she and I have a disagreement, honor thy father and thy mother. So your days will be long on this earth. And I'm like, Mama, I love you, but baby, listen here. Love you down, but we're not doing that today. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disagree with you. I love you. You did what you knew as a parent, but I'm going to call you out on your stuff. That doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I don't care for you. It doesn't mean, but in that moment, in how it made me feel, I'm going to express that. And I think Evelyn and Father Braxton, I'm including him in this too, I think they've never had that happen because they weren't taught that either. They were taught to keep secrets too. So that's a generational thing. And that's one thing I noticed that Iyanla is doing a lot of. If you really notice, she's really trying to do generational work. She's really doing generational curses work. Now, some people may not approve of her methods, but I think she's doing an excellent job. I really do. Believe it or not, I have thought about many a times watching her show. I thought about going on her show. And my mother, my sister, and I going on her show and doing her show. I've thought about it. I'm like, I would love to do that because I just see the work she's doing. And I'm like, you know what? We could all use a fix. And let me just be clear on that. When the show says fix my life, she's not saying, well, you're going to come here for 3 days and then bam, everything's going to be fine. She's saying, no, I'm going to show you the beginning stages of you fixing your life, whether that be your love life, whether it be the relationship with your parents and how it may affect you, whether it be, your spouse, your friends, you know what I mean? Like that's what I've learned from watching the show. So I think she does excellent work. But getting back to the Braxtons, because like I said, I get with the Braxtons a lot of codependence. I get people who are just very, I get a family of women that don't really like themselves and they don't know how to be, they don't know how to really be truly them. You know what I mean? I think they're learning it, but they really don't know. And I think that's why they've gone through so many different, bishops and life coaches and therapists because they don't really know what to do, And I mean, they're human just like us. I mean, because hell, I go through that too. But let's see. All in all, I think it's good. Oh, let me go into the whole Tamar thing. So Tamar and Iyanla, they going into it. So apparently Tamar goes on Twitter. Of course, we love Twitter. She goes on Twitter and she's talking about Iyanla, calling her out, calling her Rhonda. And anybody who knows, like if you do your research, you know that Iyanla's name is not Iyanla, it's Rhonda. It's Rhonda Harris. But she got her name changed. She got, I think, ordained into Ifa as an Ifa priestess. Hey girl, love you. Yes, my Oshun priestess. Anyway, even though I think she's a priestess of Oya, but that's just myself. Anywho, um, but apparently Tamar was like, I knew I should have, I should have trusted my gut. She's the devil. She's this, she's that. So because she's calling you out on your stuff and she's actually uncovering patterns, that makes her the devil? No, that makes her someone who's trying to hold you accountable. And if you watch the show, she basically was like, listen, we had a 10 a.m. call. We were going to eat breakfast together. We were going to talk and do the work. And y'all ain't show. Y'all are out here breaking commitments. And she even said in her, not commentary, in her confessional, she was like, commitments are very important because I take what I do very seriously. And I'll be real with you. If that had been me, because I life coach as well. I do life coaching too. If that had been myself, whether it been TV or not, like she said, I didn't give a damn about no cameras. I would have been pissed off too. If I know that we're supposed to get there at 10 a.m. and you don't show up until 5 o'clock, and we move things around specifically for you, and you don't show up at all, and then you want to blame WeTV on your mess up. Oh, I'm very pissed off with that because that basically says you don't have any respect for me. You don't have any respect for what I'm doing. You don't have any respect for yourself, and you don't know how to hold yourself accountable for your actions. So Iyanla's thing, I understood completely in that. I was seeing Iyanla with that because I'm like, wait a minute, you need to be called out on that. And then everybody looking around, looking silly. It's like, but this is what y'all should have done in the first place. This is why she is the way she is now. This is why Tamar Braxton is almost 40. I think she's almost 42, either 42 or 43. But she has a mentality of someone that's like 15 to 17. That's because she's been allowed to get away with it. And but see, to me, neither one of them are exempt because my thing is this: if you knew you guys were supposed to be here at 10 o'clock, why didn't you call old girl and be like, hey, where the fuck you at? Like, we need you here. You're supposed to be here eating breakfast. Why are you not here? What's going on? Or you know what I mean? Or even with Tony. Okay, Tony, why are you on your phone? Why are you doing a conference call? You're supposed to be out here eating. What are we doing? So you can't blame a production. And believe it or not, I've worked with production people. They are very, very, very meticulous about timing. Timing is important because you're wasting money. You're wasting money in that. Even though y'all didn't say that, but that's what y'all was saying. Like, my crew is out here. I'm wasting money. I'm wasting time. You know what I mean? You're fucking us all up. And that's not right. Like, come on now. Hold yourself accountable. Own yourself. And like she said, if you want to do it, fine. If you don't, you don't. But I'm out. And I don't blame her for that. Because I would have done that too. I would have been like, no, work this out amongst yourselves. Because obviously you don't want to do the work. You just want to use my platform as a means to bring your stock value up because you know it will. Don't do that. And it'll make people watch the show. That's not smart. Let's be real. From a business point, that is smart. But other than that, you still are wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my thoughts on the whole Braxton debacle. I hope they get some things resolved. I hope they actually follow through and finish it because I would love to see what happens. So we'll see that this week. But I want to know your opinion on it. What do you think about the show thus far, like the Braxtons, and how far it's come? Because I watched the show since its inception. Have they really changed? Or do you think that them working with Iyanla is going to make them grow from this? Do you see them really growing? What do you think of Iyanla? Leave your opinion